Welcome to the second video in our three-part Small Business Awards video series. I'm Suzanne Tobias. I'm opinion editor of the Wichita Eagle, and I'm looking forward to continuing this series with all of you. If you haven't had a chance yet, I really encourage you to check out the first video posted last week on the Chamber's various communications channels. You'll hear about the decision made by the Small Business Awards Committee to change the approach of this year's program. I think you can understand why. Even better, you'll also get to hear from three exceptional small businesses. Representatives in the first video, as well as this one and the next, are from each of the three tiers. For anyone who may not be familiar, the Chamber's Small Business Awards program splits applicants into three tiers based on their full-time equivalent counts. Even though this year looks different, you can still find general info about the program on the Chamber's website. We appreciate the support of this year's co-presenting sponsors, Affinity Automotive and McCurdy Auction, as well as gold sponsors, Cox Business, Ameritrust Credit Union, Occidental Management, and the Wichita Eagle Business Today. We also want to thank our signage sponsor, The Print Source, and motion graphics sponsor, Malibu Creative. So for today's video, we're happy to be joined by three more great small businesses. We have Shannon Stiles of Shannon Stiles Agency, the Tier 1 finalist, Todd Sutcliffe of National Screening Bureau, the Tier 2 finalist, and Ben Wilson of Decker Electric, a Tier 3 finalist. Let's turn now to, let's go to the three finalists for some overall insight. But Shannon, let's start with you. Before we get to the questions, just briefly tell us a little bit about the Shannon Stiles Agency.
Well, thank you. And first and foremost, congratulations to all of the finalists. And I'd like to thank the Wichita Chamber for this opportunity. And thank you, Suzanne, for moderating. The Shannon Stiles Agency provides peace of mind to our customers through insurance and financial services. We're there to help protect what's most important to our customers so that they can ensure that we can replace the financial loss, even though we cannot replace property and lives. We're an all-state exclusive agency because we take pride in the quality of products that we provide.
Great, thank you so much. So let's go ahead and dive in. When you started the Shannon Stiles Agency, you took a big risk. Without any capital, you still moved forward because you had a vision. So talk to us about your vision and why taking that risk was worth it.
Okay, regret is only possible when you don't try. When I first got my insurance license, I was so thankful for my insurance agent because I was a bit naive, and I truly believed that since I pay my premium, if anything happens, the insurance company would pay for it. Well, after I started selling insurance, I quickly realized that I wasn't alone in that thought process. The problem with this is that insurance agents are salesmen, and they get paid for getting the next item. They're also competing against other companies that may have lower prices. So oftentimes when someone comes to me for a quote, I have to explain why they're grossly underinsured. My vision was to have an agency where we put the welfare of our clients before all else. Therefore, our mission isn't to sell someone insurance. It's to educate and protect our community. I often tell my clients that if I had a crystal ball, I'd recommend only the coverage that I know they will need, but I don't. Therefore, I have to assume the worst. Again, our vision and mission is to educate and protect our community so that we're able to rebound, that they're able to rebound after life's greatest tragedies. Honestly, the risk I took was just what was needed to push me out of my comfort zone and help me grow.
Thanks so much. And risk-taking is not uncommon to many small business owners, but it's very intimidating. So thanks for sharing your story and the why behind it. Let's turn to Todd now, if we could. And Todd, tell us a little bit about National Screening Bureau.
All right. Let's see. I just did the spacebar thing. So, this is our second year being a nominee for the Small Business Award, and it's an honor to be here again. And I just wanted to say thank you to the Chamber for the way you guys have adapted to keep the program going. So thank you for that and all your hard work. So Shannon talked about risk, and that's what a lot of business is about. It's about risk and risk mitigation. So, and that's what we do at National Screening Bureau is risk mitigation for our clients. We take the risk or some of the risk out of hiring employees. So, sex offenders in a school district, not a good thing. Drug traffickers at apartment complexes or on the shop floor. Battery, burglary, thefts, DUIs, in all of our businesses. That's what we're seeing every day at National Screening Bureau. And what our job is to protect businesses and school districts and nonprofits from these bad eggs, that could destroy your organization. So at National Screening Bureau, we do background screening and drug testing, and that's what we did for our first 9 years. Can you hear that? Our lawnmower? Sorry about that. But for our first 9 years, we did background screening and drug testing primarily. And then our clients started asking us, hey, which of these clients or applicants do we hire? So about 6 years ago, we started doing behavioral assessments. And basically, you hire people for what they know, but you end up terminating them for their behavior. And so those are the products we do at National Screening Bureau: background, drug testing, and behavioral assessments to help you make every hire a successful hire.
Thanks so much, Todd. In your application, you mentioned that in the early days of your business, you had two choices, and I love this: to order more business cards or to close the business forever. That's a tough choice, a decision that other small businesses probably have or will encounter. We'd love to hear some insight on your entrepreneurial spirit and how it's built and successfully sustain National Screening Bureau. How is that contributing to the way you manage through the current situation?
Right. I remember that decision like I made it yesterday. So, and several things went into that decision. The first one was hard work. They say the harder you work, the luckier you're going to get. So this is right after a year after I'd started the company, and I was out making sales calls and trying to get the company to go, and we just, it was going, but one of our vendors really shot some prices up on us, and I was working another job, so my family would have insurance. And so I had to think, all right, what do I do? So I actually quit my other job and went 100% into National Screening Bureau. So I'm like, I know if I can work full-time on it, things are going to work out. Well, second point was luck, right? The harder you work, the luckier you get. One of the clients I had been calling on for a year, they called me that week and committed to doing business with us. So that company was actually Builders here in town. So thank you to Builders for that. And then perseverance was the other piece of it. Just getting up every day and doing what needed to be done. So that's what we did. I got up every day and did what needs to be done. So the second part of your question, how am I going to use those principles to get through now through this pandemic that we're having? Well, I lost my notes again. So sorry guys, the lawnmowers really threw me off. I don't know if you guys could hear it or not, but so what we're doing at National Screening Bureau, we're doing hard work, and some of the hardest work that we have to do is not necessarily the work that we do with our clients. It's keeping the company alive. And so we've had to make some hard decisions. We actually had to let 3 of our employees go because we just didn't have the volume or the money to support our full staff. So we had to do that, but we had to focus on being able to keep the company going. So we did that. And then luck, we're looking at, we're lucky that the industries that we serve are still in business. And so we're still having volume going on. And then I'm hoping that I'll get lucky and someone will see this video interview and say, hey, we need National Screening Bureau to do our background checks. And so we'll get lucky there and get some big business out of that. And then the last part is perseverance. We're getting up every day and we are just hitting it and doing what we need to every day. And in fact, we started a special program called COVID at our office where we are going through old files and we're cleaning them out. We're organizing, we're doing inventory, and then we're going to deploy these new changes so that when we come out of this time, we're going to come out better, stronger, faster than all of our competitors. So we're trying to use this gift of time that we've been given just to move forward.
That's great, Todd. Thanks. I do hear a lot about businesses just kind of using this time to organize, to paint, to clean. It'll be interesting and really inspiring when we're all out of this. Thank you so much for sharing that entrepreneurship story, which is a huge part of the small business community. And it's just interesting to hear your perspective on that. Ben, let's go to you if we could now and just share a bit with us about Decker Electric.
All right, so we are a full-service electrical contracting firm. We were founded in 1977 right here in Wichita by Steve Decker. He's still our president today. We've kind of evolved over time. When Steve first started the business, he was more of a residential, like commercial service department, and over time we've evolved and changed, and we're kind of broken into 4 divisions. We've got our industrial and commercial construction division, which drives the majority of our revenue through big projects, and not only commercial buildings in the Wichita area, but we have a lot of industrial clients across the country that we serve and take care of. We've got a low voltage division that takes care of telecommunications, fiber optic work, access control and security. And that's one of our faster growing, newer divisions of the company. We're seeing that shift in the industry to demand more of that. And so that's been a good growth area for us. We've also got an engineering and automation group where we automate conveyor systems, amusement park rides, water and wastewater type facilities, and an engineer on staff that oversees our UL listed panel building shop as well. And then we've got our service department. We haven't lost the core of our business and how the company started, and that department takes care of like commercial stuff, maintenance type work in commercial buildings, as well as does some residential service as well, panel change outs and some different different needs within the home. So and kind of like I mentioned, we're not just based in Wichita. Our roots are here, our single office is here, but we travel all across the country taking care of our customer base. Last year, for example, we worked in 27 states. So we put a few miles on the vehicles and spend a few dollars on hotel rooms for our guys.
Thanks so much, Ben. So our first question for you, Decker Electric created a program aptly named Wired to Help, which focuses on several nonprofits each year in the Wichita area. So you welcome the ideas of community participation from employees, and then you even pay employees while they participate in events. So tell us why community involvement is so important to your team. And then a second question for you as well, despite this pandemic, has your company been able to stay involved?
Yeah, so Wired to Help it's probably one of the most fun things we've been able to do as an organization. This was conceived in a brainstorming session we were having about 3 years ago, and a couple of our team members brought it up, and I think it's rooted in the fact that so many of our employees are volunteers already within the community, whether it's community organizations, schools, churches, whatever that is. And this was an opportunity for us as a group to take the power of the group and make an impact greater than the sum of the parts. And so it's been fun to see people bring in pet projects. Employees have 100% of the input. There's a committee of 5 people that oversee the Wired to Help organization, and really they're just there for organizational purposes to get things scheduled. And anybody's available able to bring in an organization. I've got one. Youth Horizons is a big one that is my pet project that I've been able to bring in, and so just getting out and serving those charitable organizations within our community. And it's such a good way for us to give back within a community that has meant so much to us and help grow our business where our roots are. But as far as the pandemic goes, we've seen a slowdown in our work, but in order to keep some of our guys working and keep them off unemployment or sitting at home, we've been able to send them out to some of our charitable partners who are still allowing people in their facilities do some work. We've done some stuff for Catch here in the last few weeks, and Youth Horizons, and it's a win-win for both of them. They're getting work done that they've either deferred or couldn't afford to do. Especially in light of decreasing funding and stuff like that I'm sure they're going to be facing here over the next few months. And it's kept our guys employed and busy, and given them a sense of purpose to work. And at the end of the day, when you're able to give back and able to serve an organization like that, it's hard to describe the feeling that you get with it, but it also transfers that thought process and how we serve our revenue producing customers as well. I mean, it's a win-win all the way around.
Well, that is inspiring to hear. Thank you so much. Decker Electric's commitment to the Wichita community is so appreciated, and it's so great how you involve employees that much. And it's really good to hear what you're doing, even in these troubling times. Based on last week's video and what we've heard today, I know there's a lot more that we could learn. So we're going to circle back around to each of you for a little more insight. Shannon, let's come back to you first. In your application, you mentioned that someone helped you to be in the position you're in. And because of that, you structure your agency so that all employees have the opportunity to be a business owner. So tell us about that. Do you see that support and empowerment of employees being beneficial, and especially during this unprecedented time?
Oh, most definitely. I was very blessed, and I feel like it's my duty to give back to the people that I work with. Jack Welch, the CEO of General Electric, said it best. Before you become a leader, success is all about growing yourself. After you become a leader, success is about growing others. Let's be honest. I wouldn't be recognized as a finalist right now if it weren't for my team. In many organizations, the leader is usually the visionary, but the hard work and fulfilling that vision is carried out by the team. So why would anyone want to limit their ability to contribute? If you hesitate handing something over to your team, I believe you have the wrong teammates. You have to trust your team. Give them room to make mistakes and grow. When this pandemic first started, I immediately told them that they would be paid regardless. And as you alluded to earlier, Suzanne, I'm running my business with no capital. So you should know that wasn't an easy task, but I immediately secured a loan so that I could fulfill that promise. This put their minds at ease, and they were able to then focus on the tasks at hand. And even though we're an essential service, we set up at home because their health and well-being means more to me than making a few dollars. I believe that because we have this type of relationship, they always reach to be the best that they can be.
It's great to hear how you empower your employees. That definitely serves them and the company well. So thank you so much for sharing that. Todd, National Screening Bureau has rare distinction of accreditation with both the National Association of Professional Background Screeners and the Drug and Alcohol Testing Industry Association. In your application, you talk about how that's reflective of your culture and of excellence and high standards. What are some of the key things you and your team focus on to uphold that?
Well, I'll tell you, so much of what we do affects people's lives. It's going to depend if they get a job, if they get an apartment to live in, or if they are able to volunteer at one of their favorite organizations. So our reports really affect them. So we have to be cautious what we're doing. But on the other side, employers count on us. So we have to have safe workplaces, right? So we can't misinformation. We want apartment communities to be safe and drug-free, so we can't misinformation. And we want our school buildings and our nonprofit organizations to be safe and effective places, so we can't misinformation there either. So on both sides, we're trying to protect people and do the right thing. And in my role of CEO, I have a couple ways of making sure that our reports are to a high quality. And one of those is hiring great team members, and we have an awesome team. They all care, they're vested, and they give their best every day. So the other way is through those organizations you talked about, being accredited. Because that way we're going to have great processes in place. By being accredited, we'll be following the industry standards that are out there. It gives my team a clear and concise path on what to do on all issues. So it's a huge time and money commitment to have both of those accreditations. But, you know, and when we get audited, you know, a lot of companies are like, oh no, we're being audited. But I'm like, hey, great, we're being audited, because we're going to go in, we're going to look at all of our processes and make sure everything is like it needs to be. So it lets us and our clients know that we're giving the best quality that we can.
Thanks so much, Todd. Your company's culture of excellence and high standards is really evident, and it's helpful to hear and learn from some of your and your team's focus points. Ben, Decker Electric was established in 1977, and you've made a lot of strides in business practices and your client base. How have you continued to adapt and expand, and what kind of impact does diversification of services have for your team in this current situation we're facing now?
Well, the landscape of our industry is constantly changing, evolving, whether it's safety requirements, new technologies, different things that change the shape and what we do day to day. And so it's either change or die, you know, for us as far as that goes. And our leadership team has a growth mindset, and we want to continue to grow the company, and not just financially, but in the services and the way we serve our customers. You know, in our mission statement, we talk about creating value for our team members and our clients. And in order to create that value, we have to adapt our services to what the market demands at that point in time. So over the years, especially over the past 10 years, we've worked to diversify our client base and not get so much caught up into one industry, but to spread our resources across several industries. And so since we've been able to do that, when the economy ebbs and flows, one industry slows down, another one seems to be growing and picking up steam. And so that's allowed us to maintain a consistent workforce, especially in the field workforce, but also to grow our what we call our overhead staff, our office staff that supports those activities. And then adding services. I mentioned telecommunications and the access control and security are one of our fastest growing revenue streams right now. That's out of a demand from our customers. They're seeing a need for more and more of that. And prior to about 5 years ago, we were subcontracting the majority of that work out. And by pulling it back in-house, that allows us to capture that, not only capture that revenue with our customer base, but also give them a one-call stop for all the services that we can provide. They're not calling 3 or 4 other vendors to take care of it. They just know they need to call Decker Electric, and we're there to take care of them when they do have the needs.
Right, that's so interesting to hear how the company's approaches have changed over the years, but it's also evident that adapting has been beneficial, especially now. Everyone's sort of going through that same thing. Like last week, we want to turn back to each of our finalists for a closing thought on what Wichita can do to help you as a small business. So these are the questions for you. What can Wichita do to help you as a small business or any small business? So Shannon, let's go first to you.
Well, again, I'd like to thank you and the Wichita Chamber for making this possible for us to speak to our community. But what Wichita can do for small businesses is shop local. Yeah, you can probably go direct to the large organizations and maybe get your products cheaper, but you'll never get the relationships that you do by shopping local. For example, I can almost guarantee that during this stay-at-home order, while I was going to my customers' homes delivering supplies like toilet paper, I even had it, I don't think any of the direct online insurance clients got a knock on their door from their agent offering help. It's during the difficult times in life that we desire those relationships. And at the end of the day, that service is priceless. So please shop local. And if you're looking for an agent that cares, we'd love to have you in our family.
Thanks so much, Shannon. That's
Thank you.
So inspiring to hear. Todd, let's go to you. What can Wichita do to help small business?
Well, I agree with Shannon. Shopping local is a great way to start. And I think Wichita is awesome. They're ready to get going and get out and support local businesses and get life back to going. As far as National Screening Bureau, I would like Wichita to know that we're a nationwide company. In fact, we were just named one of the top 10 background screening companies by HR Tech magazine. So we're pretty proud about that. We have clients from Florida to Alaska, but here in Kansas, we started here in Wichita. And so we have some specialties and some knowledge in this community that the national companies aren't going to have. So we can service just like the national companies, but we have that local touch here. So, and I would like you to help me believe in luck again. So helping turn that hard work into luck. So if there's some big company out there or small company, we're willing to help anybody. Feel free to give us a call, and we'll work hard to make sure we make every hire for you a successful hire. And thanks again to Suzanne and the Chamber for continuing with this program, even in the crazy times we're experiencing.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Todd. Now let's go to Ben at Decker Electric. What can Wichita do to help you as a small business or to help any small business?
I think about, we're fortunate enough that, we're deemed an essential industry, and we serve a lot of people in the essential industry. So we haven't been as hard hit as some people are. And my heart goes out to the service industry people who, the waiters and waitresses, the salon owners, and all those things. And so I think it's important as those businesses come back online that we seek out ways to support them, that we're generous with them, that those of us who've been in the fortunate situation to be able to continue on, seek out ways to lift up that part of our community. And I see this as an opportunity under different circumstances, but similar to what we experienced with in 9/11, where we come together, we put our differences aside, we come together as a community, we lift up those that are hurting within the industry, within our community, and work our way through this. And hopefully this ends quicker than some of the doomsday predictors are putting out there, but we'll weather the storm and go through there. As far as Decker Electric goes, we're here to take care of you. We're still running our business as safely as possible. We do get into interactions with people, but we're trying to adhere to all the safety protocols. But we're open. We're here for business. We're here when you need us.
Great. Thank you so much. It is so, it's a really, really tough time, but your stories are so inspiring, and I'm glad that you can share them today. Thank you again to Shannon, Todd, and Ben, and to the teams at Shannon Styles Agency, National Screening Bureau, and Decker Electric. As we know, they are a big part of your success as a small business. So thank you again to our sponsors and to everyone in the Wichita community and beyond for supporting and celebrating small business. We'll see you next week for our final video. Bye-bye.